About to give and then take away. On my wrist right now, I have on a band from IAVA, the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans Association. I'm wearing it for a simple reason. What's going on with the GI Bill in Congress? As you know, everybody says they support the troops. This is a beautiful example to show it, and yet there was a sneaky vote in Congress to divert money from within the GI Bill instead of adding money to it. This has veterans very upset. What can you tell us about the status of maintaining and growing the GI Bill?
Well, Chris, I'm actually the wife of an Iraq veteran, so I really believe what the Iraq and Afghanistan veterans have done for us and continue to do. We are still at war. We still have, obviously, our men and women over in Afghanistan and now back in Iraq. So what happened in the House in February, sort of one of those sleight of hand issues that happened without enough public notice, is a cut to those who re-enlist in our post 9/11 GI Bill. They can assign their education benefits and their housing benefits to their children or spouse, and they cut that by the housing piece of it by 50%. For a veterans bill they did. I think it's wrong because we're talking about people, if you re-enlist, you were told you could transfer this benefit. And it's really important because we're talking about Iraq and Afghanistan veterans who have done multiple deployments. So it's absolutely wrong. Right now in the Senate VA committee, I hope that they will not include this. And in fact, I've talked to the chairman about this issue, and I'm actually very encouraged that they won't include it in the Senate version because it's absolutely wrong.
We put out a request for a position on this to all the presidential candidates. We've heard from Clinton and Sanders, have not heard from the Republicans as of yet. But I have to tell you, I'm wondering if that's a coincidence because members of your party up high have been saying, look, this GI Bill, this version of it was a recruiting tool. It was very expensive. It served its purpose. We can't afford it anymore. How can we afford so many of the things? How can we not find money elsewhere? How can we make their money a priority for cutting? What do you say?
Hey, Chris, this is what I say. This is about not breaking our promises to those who are continuing to defend this nation, less than 1% of our population defending the rest of our freedom. We're still at war. They're still in Afghanistan. The president's sending them back to Iraq. I say keep our promises. It's absolutely wrong. This should be the last place that we're looking. Let's make sure that we ensure that those who have defended this nation and our freedom, that we don't break these promises. And that's why I'm going to fight hard for this. I appreciate all the work the Iraq and Afghanistan veterans have done to bring light to this issue. And again, I meet many of my veterans in New Hampshire, members of our Guard, who have done 4 and 5 deployments at this point.
Well, look, it's also not a coincidence that you're alone with me this morning. There are not a lot of senators who are joined in this cause right now, and it's something that needs to get attention. Do you think the bill can be saved?
I do, and I think I've talked to the chairman of the Veterans Committee in the Senate, and I'm very encouraged by what I hear. But again, that's why I'm here bringing attention to this issue, because I do think it's important. The American people, we support our veterans, and we promised them this. Many of them re-enlisted. They had done multiple deployments. We've asked so much of them, and we should follow through.
Senator Kelly Ayotte coming out for the veterans, has a re-election coming her way. Thank you for coming on New Day to make the case for veterans. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Chris.
Allison.